My brother told me the White House was our return address, so I sent a prisoner a letter from the president. My brother told me the White House was our return address, so I accidentally sent a letter to a prison inmate from the President Pernin, and the entire jail staff called me Mr. President for years afterward. When I was 7, my teacher assigned us to write a letter to someone as part of a school project, while most kids chose grandparents or cousins. My mom, Pert, who worked as an administrative assistant at the county jail, Perter, suggested I write to an inmate who never received mail. I thought this was a brilliant idea. That night, I carefully wrote a letter on my dinosaur stationery. Dear Mr. Prisoner, I am sorry you got arrested. I hope you get out soon and can see your family. Prison must be very sad. Do you get to watch cartoons? My favorite is Uppalix Bob. I even drew a picture of what I thought jail looked like, Pernty stick figures behind striped barriers with frowny faces. I signed it with my best signature, complete with a smiley face dotting the I in my name. My mom stepped out to grab dinner while I was finishing my letter. When I needed our return address, I asked my 13-year-old brother, who didn't even look up from his video game when he replied 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue A, Washington, D.C. 20500. I carefully printed this unfamiliar address on the envelope, proud of my neat handwriting. Our town was nowhere near Washington, D.C. Parnt. We lived in rural Montana, and I'd never traveled further than Idaho. The next morning, I proudly handed over my sealed letter to my mom to take to work. She mailed it without checking the return address. Weeks passed, and I forgot all about the assignment. Years went by. When I was 17, I drove to pick up my mom from work at the jail. As I waited in the staff room, her co-worker Officer Jenkins looked at me with a grin. Well, if it isn't Mr. President himself, come to pardon some inmates today? Confused, I shook my head. I am just here for my mom. Officer Jenkins laughed. Your mom never told you. It's the best story in the break room. That letter you wrote as a kid, you put the White House as the return address. The inmate showed everyone his personal letter from the president before someone realized what happened. My face burned as he continued. We've kept the joke going for a decade. Your mom gets Christmas cards addressed to the president's mother every year. When my mom arrived, she confirmed the story, explaining that the inmate had been so excited to receive official White House correspondence that the staff couldn't bear to tell him the truth immediately. By the time they did, the nickname had already stuck. Did the guy ever find out it was from a 7-year-old and not actually the president? I asked. Eventually, she smiled, but he said it was the kindest letter he'd ever received either way. He was released 5 years ago and still sends Christmas cards to little Mr. President. Last week, my brother finally confessed he knew exactly what he was doing when he gave me that address. My revenge was simple, Pertle. I told his fiancée Refed about every embarrassing childhood story I could remember at their rehearsal dinner. Sometimes the dumbest lies create the best stories, and somewhere out there is an ex-convict who can truthfully say he once received a personal letter from the White House, pat complete with dinosaurs and a Bliffe Lights Bob reference.